I'm not gonna lie. I thought about doing that too, building my own tower, but I'm lazy about it. I'm just gonna buy that joint. I'm gonna
But can I just buy
configure
it
what I
though?
want.
But let me ask that. Can I do
You
that?
can, you can. Micro Center.
Yo, can you build me something? I'm just buy it. Can you
Okay.
do that for me? You know
There's
what I
there's one.
need? I'm trying to do the podcast shit. You know what I
Yeah.
need?
Yeah.
You know I need some
Listen,
RAM. You know
listen.
I
I
need
got
some
I got the listen. I actually the one that you should get. I already sent it to you. I'm gonna send it to you again. I'm gonna send it to you again. The exact one you need, and I'll send you like a link to why it's absolutely
nigga, I don't need
capable
to
of what you need to do.
learn
I'm not I'm
fucking
not I'm not saying that.
real estate,
I'm just letting you know.
banking, and all this stuff
I'm
if
just
I
letting you
got a
know
guy
the
who
one.
does the thing already. Do
Yeah.
you know what you're talking about?
Yes, I know exactly what I'm
Okay, so
talking
just
about.
send me the fucking pay here fucking thing. All right, let
I'm
me.
gonna I'm gonna send you the link to the item itself, and I believe there's an option there where you can pay
Look,
it.
it's back on the screen now because of
Yeah.
the Wi-Fi. Am I still delayed or am I good to go?
You're a little. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Bro, I would throw my phone. Darwin, what are you doing here?
It's challenge day.
Welcome back, challengers. This is season 1, episode 2 of Challenge Day. Today is January 22nd, 2023. I'm that dude, Darwin Messidou.
And I'm Jeff. That's Jeff, not Jeffrey. Now, bro, what we got going on today? I know we got some wild stuff that's been going on lately. What's going
Yeah,
on?
it's been a busy week in the news. There's so much to pick from, and we're not a main news broadcast, so we can't
Oh,
cover
absolutely not.
everything.
Yeah.
But one thing I did want to follow up on is so CNET has been caught fucking around and finding out. This is just a follow. We talked last time about how you can't, the media perhaps being the enemy of the people, right?
Yes.
These
Yes.
fools, bro, they're just so lazy with it. It's just all about profit. CNET used Chat GPT. Have you heard about this thing, Chat GPT?
I, I've that's crazy. I literally heard about something like that yesterday, and I was like, "What is this Chat GPT thing that's going on?"
Yo,
But yeah,
bro, if
enlighten
we
me.
had this like it's like a whole cheating system. Like you could have like
This is
you could say
crazy,
something
bro.
like Jeff sports
Mm-hmm.
and Haitian. And
Mm-hmm.
you spit that into the fucking algorithm,
Yep.
whatever that shit is, and
Yeah.
it can write a whole paper. It can
What?
write
So
it can
it
write a whole paper
so it
on you. Like it'll
whoa.
make up whatever
Yeah, it'll
timeline,
just
or it could be
wow.
fiction or reality, like
Okay.
however you can have these choices, and like it'll write up a whole thing on you,
Okay.
right? So these niggas
It's
fuck
kind of
around and find
wild,
out
bro.
because they apparently had an article that they put out where they
Would they
just
use
ran it
that?
through the algorithm. They ran it through the
Wow.
and they wrote an article, and then like the article
Was
was
that intentional?
it had to be.
I might be jumping ahead, so I'm gonna let you rock. Go
It had to
ahead.
be because it had to be because
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
they didn't say at the top this article written by a Chat GPT or nothing like
Uh,
that.
uh-huh.
No, they got
But they
caught
but
and
they wouldn't disclose that though.
they didn't disclose, but they could because it could be like,
Hmm.
yo, this is a social experiment that we're running. They have
Oh,
done
okay,
that
that's
kind
fair.
of stuff. You know what I
That's
mean?
fair. Yeah, that's
They've
fair.
done that. They posted it. You know what I mean? This is a bot. You know what I mean? They'll tell you your
Mm-hmm.
bot wrote this, or this is like an algorithmic written articles. Like I think some of the AP news stuff happens like that, right? It's
Okay.
like just the sometimes the headlines are written by bots. The article be a real author, but the headlines are by bots
Ah,
because what's going to get the
that's
most clicks and
interesting.
stuff like that, right? That's
Yes.
a whole thing. These motherfuckers put
That's so crazy.
an entire article, and they got caught because there was a bunch of incorrect information in the article. That was just like
Mm-hmm.
obvious incorrection, but the algorithm, I guess, was just dive into the internet, sweeping a bunch of stuff that was relevant,
Mm-hmm.
and just spat out an article,
Mm-hmm.
and nobody edited it. They just like they must have just let it go. And so this is what I'm saying. It's like they're to the point now where they're not even having people write the goddamn things anymore because they don't want to pay the person to go do the research, go do the job, to go hunt down the sources, to go do the interviews.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, this is supposed. You know what? This is just supposed to be a little callback on that. You can go down that rabbit hole a little bit further,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
bro, isn't that wild?
Wow. That's crazy. I didn't know that it was to that extent that they were using. That's yeah,
CNET is a
that's
big site.
yes, and CNET was a site that I was a pretty respectable, especially in the tech community. Like it's one of those sites that are typically highly respected in the tech community. So that makes me look at that site differently for sure.
Yo, how you gonna fuck up that bet? This is what I'm saying. Like you see
That's
that,
pretty bad.
you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? We're looking for
Yeah,
you
that's
to be like the freaking
kind of
door
crazy.
gatekeeper. For, not you don't have to be a gatekeeper, but like you're a trusted site. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
saying? So like
Definitely
you
a
want
trusted
to be
site
the
for
one
sure.
checking these people out. You got to see that for ratings. You go to see that
Yep.
for sometimes you have something you want to download. You're not sure if it's legit, so you go
Even
to
if you want to
CNET to find
yeah.
out if it's legit.
Even if you want to like purchase, like you can go to CNET to like compare, like, hey, I'm shopping around for TVs. I want to
Yeah.
compare different TVs. They'll give you ratings overall. They'll give you user experience, all these things, pros and cons. So people are legit making life decisions from
Off of
CNET.
CNET, you know, and so
CNET.
it would be
Yeah.
cool if it's like, yo, this is like another CNET production brought to you by
Mm-hmm.
C. Like we're testing out this Chat
Yeah.
GPT.
Yeah.
We're gonna put out an entire page. This page is all Chat GPT articles for the next month.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? See how well the Chat GPT does versus normal news sources and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that's what they were
That'd
doing,
be a
but
cool
no, they
social
put that
experiment.
bit
Yeah.
out on a regular fucking feed. Like that's like an original piece
Mm-hmm.
of writing. And so, bro, and it all comes down to because the reason they made that decision, like 6 steps removed, is
Mm-hmm.
because it would make an extra penny somewhere else. That's all that was. So the first thing that's going to be we're going to actually cover today is this power slap league.
Yeah. Power slap league. Yeah.
It's a whole ass league. You might have seen
Bro.
this stuff. This is just like toe to toe.
Yo, the videos are vicious. I mean, vicious, bro. I'm not sure if you're gonna touch on this particular one, but there's a video that I saw where a guy took, I mean, this guy slapped lava out of his face, and like his
Yo,
fire's not even enough. Like he slapped lava out of him, like, and like his whole face was like
it's
sword
a
and
whole
bro,
ass league.
it's a whole league. That
But
joint is
there's a kicker.
crazy.
There's a kicker, and we're gonna
Yeah.
tie it into what we talked about last
Mm-hmm.
week, right? When
Mm-hmm.
we get that one.
Yeah.
And on the back end, we're gonna be talking about Florida. Florida man. Florida man is at it again.
Like I can see that. I can see the connection here. You know what I've hated that people have done in the past though. Like sometimes people be like, man, I think Charlemagne even said this all the time, and it irritates me every time he says. He's like, the craziest people I know are from Bronx, New York,
Yeah,
and Florida.
that's his little piece of
I'm
that.
like, bro, you need to chill, bro. But like, there's
But
certain
yo,
stories that I hear from Florida. I'd be like, dang, that is kind of wild.
do you know where that title came from?
No, I don't actually.
It's very easy actually.
Mm.
It's you know when you have again the media, the
Yeah.
fucking media that got us all believing that Florida people are crazy. This is the media.
Yeah.
Anyways, they might be right on this one because every time they write an article, you write an article, so it'll say local man does such and such, you know, and was arrested later on, or it'll say, um, uh, it'll say Miami area person, but it would always say Florida man does such and such.
I've
And
heard something.
this
I've
crazy
heard that
thing happened.
before.
This is always how the headline goes.
Yeah, Florida.
Or
Yeah,
it
I've
would
heard
say,
that.
but it would just say, you know what I mean? Wisconsin man,
Yeah.
you know, did this thing
Dang, I have
and
heard
won
that
$1 million,
before. That's crazy.
whatever
Yeah,
the F
yeah.
it is. And so the Florida ones though just be so wild.
Yeah, they be so egregious. It's like,
It just
bro.
be so wild that it became like a national thing where people are like, okay, that's just like Florida man. That headline,
Yeah.
like that's what it is. There's an embodiment of that. That's why it's become such a phenomenon because like you can just see a screenshot of a Florida man, and you're like, this nigga from Florida.
He's absolutely. That's true. That's true.
That was a Florida man
That's
that
true.
that I saw one time, and I keep going back to this one.
Mm-hmm.
So it said Florida man. Just said Florida man throws alligator into Wendy's drive-through window.
Yo, what?
You read the article and they
How
got
are
a background on this dude.
yo? That's like I'm that's so wild to me. Like you have to be so angry where you're like, you know what? I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go get a gator.
Oh, but but Florida man, no, this is Florida man.
And it's a
Florida man
for
probably
that,
has
yeah.
a pet gator. I'm
You're
gonna go
probably
get a
right.
gator.
Yeah,
He
he
has a
probably has
pet
gators on demand.
gator.
Probably has gators on demand.
He
Absolutely.
got gators to throw. Into a Wendy's drive-through, of course. Wendy's. It
Yo,
wasn't like,
throwing a
oh,
gator.
Florida man throws alligator at Ritz-Carlton. No,
Yeah.
no.
It's through
A Wendy's drive-through. God damn it. And he's
so
not.
that means so that means he had gators on standby. Just
like, all right,
just
Charlie.
in case.
All right, Charlie, you know the drill. Right? They're gonna call the wildlife protector service. But I'm gonna come bail you out, my dude. You know I'm gonna get you. You know what I'm saying? Just take this one for the squad.
Yo,
Take this one for the swamp. I'm gonna
oh
throw you
my
through this
God.
window. You just got scared. Don't bite her. You know they're gonna euthanize you if you do that, my G. Settle down. All right. So, I'm gonna throw you through the window. You know what I mean? They're gonna catch you. Don't bite nobody. Just like hiss a little bit. You know what I mean? Let them catch you. But then I'll bail you out. You know what I mean? Oh shit! You threw that nigga through the window like shit. It's the weekend. I forgot. I gotta wait till Monday.
Yeah.
So that's Florida man. That's Florida man.
Oh my God.
And Florida man is at it again.
Yeah. I know people personally who are like petty, right? Like you're like, okay, this guy can be petty, right? Like the depths of pettiness you have to reach.
He was mad about his junior bacon cheeseburger, boy.
He was thoroughly upset. Like, yo, I'm not even gonna throw a rock in the window. I'm gonna throw a whole gator.
A gator.
a whole live animal.
Imagine if you're the Wendy's staff person, right? Mm-hmm. And you're like, aha, the old gator. The old gator trick. I'm from Florida too. I knew that was coming. Yeah. I think it's just like to parry that bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, block that. Gator block.
Gator block. Oh my gosh, bro, that's crazy, yo. Oh man.
Oh, I'm gonna have to
Gator block, bro. That's
I'm gonna have to edit this whole fucking thing.
Yo, that's crazy, bro. Oh my gosh, that has to be. It's funny, but it also kind of makes me sad a little bit because it's like that's such a Florida thing to do.
It's such a Florida thing.
It's such a Florida thing to do. It's like, dang, bro, he really had a gator on standby. Like he had a gator in his holster.
Yeah. So but again, a gator in the holster, that's Florida for you, bro. They got guns out there and they ready to shoot.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Ron DeSantis is today's Florida man, and he's wilding, of course, as usual. So we'll get to know him a little bit better. But before we do that, Challenge Day would not be a thing if we didn't talk about our own challenges.
Absolutely.
So, Jeff, it's been another week. What's been going on this week? What's it been looking like for you?
Yeah, man. So remember last week I was talking about the certification exam, and everything that encompassed as far as like just preparing for it, and like the anxiety I kind of like low-key was back and forth on and combating to overcome in order to just have the confidence that I need to have in order to take the certification exam. And a lot of it is me, honestly, just being in my head too much, and not just being confident in what I already know, how I've already studied for it, and the due diligence that I've already done in order to prepare in the best way for it. So the challenge is obviously just taking this exam but the bigger thing is also passing it the first time, right? So it's not just like taking the exam, but also making sure I pass it the first time, right? just so I'm not looking crazy at work. And yeah, so I ended up taking the exam, and yo, I'm not gonna hold you. As I was taking the exam, right, I'm sitting here and I'm like, it felt like I didn't study at all. It felt like I didn't do any preparation. Like that's literally how I was feeling while I was taking the exam, right? And
Was
I'm just
that
sitting here like,
anxiety or like was like
no,
legitimate
it was just like
questions? Was
if
like I never seen this question before.
it was mostly that because I was like, bro, I know I've studied for this thoroughly, but it's like, dang, they're asking me questions that like was not on any of the study material that I studied. I'm like, it felt like a whole different type of exam. Like that's how it felt, right? Um, Halfway through the test, I was already telling myself, all right, this is what I'm gonna have to prep more on. This is what I'm gonna have to study more. Like in my head, I already felt like I already failed. Like just in my head, I already almost even believed that, right? I was
Wow,
like,
like
okay,
early on.
yeah, early, like maybe like 20 questions in, I was like, okay. So it's pretty clear that I'm just gonna have to just make sure I'm looking at these things, make sure I'm studying these sections, this section, and get more thorough understanding in this area and that area and that area. Like literally, I'm literally talking to myself in my head, like
Preparing
as I'm
yourself for
taking,
like the next time you take it.
yeah, already preparing myself, right? And I find it interesting that a lot of times we do that where we could actually be going through something literally live and already be telling ourselves, okay, like we've already failed. I'm just going at this point. My body's just going through the motions, and then I'm already preparing myself to go at this again. Um, I end up getting through the entire exam. Right, I answered all the questions, but I flagged like maybe like 20 questions or whatever for review. Right, went back, reviewed those questions, um, and just really sat there because I got through the test quickly enough where I had a good bit of time where I can really like assess each question that I flagged for review. And then some answers I changed, some answers I was like, this is what my gut is telling me in this particular situation. I'm gonna go with this answer. So just kind of reviewed the questions, went through it, kept it pushing. And at the end of the test, the part that I hate, they give you a survey before they tell you the question, before they tell you your score, right? So like as you're doing a survey in your head,
Well,
you're
hold on,
like,
wait.
bro,
They give you the survey.
before they give you the score. So in my head, it's kind of like, bro, so y'all just doing this just to burn people up. Like you just burn people up, especially if you're a person who knows that you're not sure that you passed or not. Like, so as you're answering these survey questions, like you're like burning up while you answering them. You're just like, bruh. And it's not like one or two questions. It's like
And so
19.
the thing is though, here's the problem that we used to always have in places
Mm-hmm.
that work that wanted people to do surveys,
Yeah.
is that they're done with their service. By the
Mm-hmm.
time you send them the survey, it's like a day later or a week
Yeah.
later. They
Yeah.
don't give a fuck. They're not gonna
Yeah.
freaking take your survey anymore, but you
Mm-hmm.
are waiting for your score.
Absolutely. So
Hostage.
essentially I understand the logic behind why it's that way, why they do it that way.
Smart.
So I'm like, all right. So it kind of forces you to take the survey, answer those questions. All right, cool. So I answered the questions, and after I finished answering I was at the last one, the 19th survey question. Because they ask you a bunch of crap like demographic and stuff. So I went to at the 19th question, I was like, I'm about to click it. I'm like, oh, all right, here we go. And then I got to the final screen and it said, you scored, because it's a 720 out of 900, right? You have to score at least a 720 out of 900.
Mhm.
And I was reading it. It was like a small font. And it was like, so you have to have, it literally said you have to have a 720 out of 900. You scored a 74. You said you scored a 744 and you passed. Congratulations. When I read it,
Hey,
bro, when I read it, I
hey,
fell out. Like I was like,
let's go.
bro, like I got so crunk, like I got up and I
Let's
was like, let's
go.
go. And I'm being watched on the camera, right? So I'm pretty sure the proctor's looking at like, dang, this
No,
guy.
they probably get that shit all the time. These niggas
Yeah,
like,
they do. I'm
especially they
sure.
probably know your score before you see it. They're like,
Yeah.
hey, watch this fool. Watch this fool.
Yeah.
I said,
and,
go
and
off.
and that's a fact. I thought about that too. I was like, I know they see it all the time. And they're probably just waiting, like, wait till he sees his score. He probably thought he felt, because they're
Yeah,
watching you through the exam, right? And they
yeah,
saw me in the exam like stressing out. I was like,
yeah.
I was taking off my glasses. I was like,
I was good.
so they
Yeah.
so they saw me stressing the whole time, but they already saw the score. So they're like, watch what he watch. That's probably what they were doing.
That's what's up.
Um, and I just man, I was, when I say like I felt like the
Don't
world
you
was just
feel
lifted off my
free?
shoulder, bruh,
Like just the
bruh.
freeness, right, of it, right?
Like
Like
I felt light, like I
rest,
felt
bro.
light, bro. Like I felt so light. I was like, bro, I
I can
finally got
understand
this
why some
joint,
people
bro.
don't even like. Well, I don't condone it, but
Mm-hmm.
I can understand why some people like don't challenge themselves because that stress,
bro.
but like the thing is like that relief when you
Hmm.
accomplish something though that
Hmm.
comes on the
Absolutely.
other side of like crawling through glass.
Hmm.
That feeling is like there's nothing other than that.
It's
You know what I
it's
mean?
it's and you're touching on something that actually, now that I think about it, like, is big time. It's such a euphoric feeling, right? Because it's like, and for me, like,
Talk
what,
about delayed gratification.
bruh. And for me, it does wonders for my confidence too, because it's like when I see myself take on a challenge and I accomplish it, bro, like I'm on one. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like I'm on tilt for real. Like,
yeah.
so like when I saw that score, I was like, bro, I was so crunk, like I was so psyched up. And got the score, whatever. Got my cert and all that stuff and updated my team and all that at work. And it felt good being on the receiving end of like people, like obviously people congratulate you, but at the same time, people are like, yo, how did you prepare for it? How did you pass? You know what I'm saying? Like, instead of being the one that's like always reaching out to people like, hey, how did you do? It felt good to be like the guy that's like, yeah,
They're the
yeah, I
one that they're
passed
like,
it.
how'd you do it?
Yeah,
You
I
know,
passed
what's
it.
your secret?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Like, yeah, what's your thing? How did you prepare for it?
yeah,
And and this is my team, so I gave them all the game. I was like, yo, this is how I prepare for it. This is how you're probably gonna feel when you're taking an exam.
mhm.
So don't
That's the
take it for
part that
granted.
nobody tells you.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, this is how you're gonna feel, but hey, make sure you get through it. Use logic, use the reasoning and all that stuff. And rely on your experience. And you'll be fine. But make sure you over prepare. That was the key. I kept telling everybody, make sure you
Yeah,
over prepare, because that's what I did. But that was a challenge. I was able to get the cert. If you recall, guys, like I said before that I was gonna pass it. I said I'm gonna pass it. So I think that's part of it too. Is like
spoke that bit into
speaking those things.
existence.
Yeah, speaking those things to existence. But even if you're not a person who's even like fond of that or like believe in that, I mean, I believe in that. But even if you're not a person that believes in that, speaking positive actually does wonders for your confidence. Like, just
Mhm.
positive affirmations. That's scientifically backed. Like, you have to speak confidently about certain things, speak positive about things to help you with your confidence. So like, I think that helps me. That helped me a lot as well. I was, even in the morning before I took the exam, I was like, I'm gonna pass this. I'm gonna do well, and blase blase blase. Um, and I'm on to greener pastures. So
There you
that was
go.
my challenge. I was
Yo,
able
it's
to
gonna be,
accomplish it, and I'm
you
happy,
know, the
man.
funny thing I find about these kinds of experiences
Yeah,
is that future Jeff is gonna thank you.
that's a
That
fact.
future Jeff. 6 years from now, 5 years
It's a
from now,
fact.
be like, yo, that nigga took that test and fucking killed that bitch.
Yeah,
Thank goodness
it's
I
a
ain't gotta
fact.
take that bit right now. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And I'm like set up
man.
in a situation now that's
Yeah,
like building on the shoulders of that. So
absolutely, absolutely.
that's amazing. Glad you could share that with everybody,
Yeah, appreciate that. Yeah.
um, and I'm looking forward to see the greatness that you finna achieve next.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, I'm turning up now. Like, my eyes are like wide open to like so many other things that I want to do now, just because of that. Just because of that. Because I know I can attain something like that. Like, it just it helps me to expand my vision, right? I've expanded my vision of like what I can actually accomplish, especially in the tech world. So
so okay, I I see your challenge and I will raise you. All
yeah.
right, I will
All
raise
right,
you.
all right.
Fucking squirrels. Dog, I am
Yo,
tired of these goddamn squirrels.
squirrels.
They've been messing with me all week.
Squirrels are
Like
little demons for sure.
specifically.
Mhm. Specifically, it mess with you specifically.
They've been messing with me specifically. So,
Mhm. Mhm.
bruh, I got a new bird feeder from a friend of mine for Christmas,
Mhm.
and it's a window one. Hold on, I'm gonna yeah. Nigga been what is this? 48 minutes. I think the stuff is like building up phlegm in my
Yeah,
throat.
that's what I was gonna say. I think it's because of what you're drinking.
It's it's really sugary.
Mm.
Get some water. All right,
Mhm.
bruh. Squirrels have been the bane of my existence. My friends got me a new bird feeder, and
Mhm.
it's the type that you attach to the window, and
Okay.
it's got suction cups, so you attach it to the window
Okay, I
with the
got you.
suction cups.
Yep.
And
Yep.
so you put your seeds in the like a little tray that's on it, and then
Uh-huh.
the birds could come and they're in the tray and they're eating their seeds, and there's like right on your window, so you can kind of
Mm-hmm.
see it right there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I have another bird feeder, and I already know the challenges of these fucking squirrels
Yeah.
with that other bird feeder, and I
Mm-hmm.
I I I had to put I've got this is my fourth bird feeder, the main one, because these
Squirrels,
squirrels
bro.
find a goddamn way to. I'm not out
Yeah.
here feeding squirrels. I'm trying to feed the birds because I want to see the
Yeah.
pretty birds. We have a gazillion varieties of birds
Mm-hmm.
over here, so
Yeah.
trying to see the birds, and the squirrels find a way to eat the freaking seeds when you put it
They're
in there, so
relentless,
there's
bro.
nothing for the birds.
Yeah.
So I was already a little weary that the window one might be too enticing for the squirrel. But so I kind of put it really high up. I'm like, how is he gonna get up there? You know what I mean? Like the squirrel, because you gotta always try to think past what the squirrel gonna think, right?
Yep.
And
Squirrels
so
gonna climb though. That's one
this,
thing they're gonna
but
do.
they gotta step. They gotta find something to climb on to like, and
Yeah,
then
to
like.
get to it.
So
Okay.
I saw this video on YouTube, or was it on YouTube, or what was this? Maybe Instagram or something like that. Was some people set up um
Like away
a
from like
bird.
a fence or something like that.
No, it was just like a bird feeder, but it was like on a pole in the middle of the yard, and the
Okay.
squirrel climbed up the bush and like jumped over to try to climb onto
Oh,
the
I seen that.
goddamn
I seen that video, and he
thing.
tried it like 3 or 4 times. Like he was
He tried this
determined to
like
get.
5 or 6 times because they had a mechanism in it that was
Yeah.
quote unquote squirrel proof. That
Mm-hmm.
when he grabbed it, it would spin his ass around and just throw
Yeah.
him off, and he lands on
Yeah.
the ground. And now he
Mm-hmm.
has to go back across the lawn,
Mm-hmm.
get on top of the bush again, and then jump over, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so you would think this fool would give up. That nigga did not give up until he
Yeah.
figured it out. He figured it out, got
He
up there,
figured it
ate
out,
all of their seeds, ate all
bro.
of. He's like, bro, I worked up an appetite. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So this goddamn squirrel found his way up in the damn window bird feeder. And I'm walking by the
How?
window
Go ahead. Go ahead.
because there's another umbrella that's kind of nearby, and he used that to climb up and they jumped over it.
Oh my god, bro.
So needless to say, I'm looking into high grade Vaseline.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I
Facts.
mean?
Yeah.
In my near future, it might be an
Yeah.
Amazon or Walgreens
Mm.
or Walmart purchase something, so I could slick up whatever sides that he might have been
Yep.
using to jump off of.
Mm-hmm.
But I walk by the window and this fool is just sitting in that tray and just like
Could just
chilling,
going, bruh.
chilling. He
Dang.
not even
So he
coming
wanted
back
you
for
to see him.
later.
He wanted you to see him.
Here's the fucked up part. I thought squirrels like take the stuff and go stash it away somewhere.
Apparently not, man.
And then come back later and like put it in the ground or something. Yo,
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
fool was chilling. He was
Lunching.
like, I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm here. This thing was like established a station and
Yeah.
everything. He
That
set
was his
his
post for
fucking
sure.
like account to away, be like, I'll be at the bird feeder. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like
Yeah.
this food done slipped up.
Mm.
You know how niggas, and so this one is this particular like blend of bird feed that I got
Mm. Uh-huh.
is for a different set of birds that I and it's been working great because I'm getting some bigger birds
Mm.
that are very colorful and all that kind of stuff now. But it's got like a bunch of sunflower seeds in it. So you
Mm.
know how you grew up. I mean, how I grew up eating sunflower seeds.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. Yeah.
You
We
know what
had
I mean?
bags
You
of
got
flour
that
seed.
bit in
Yeah.
your mind, you're talking, you're doing your
Yeah.
thing,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
pop a couple in, you're doing
For
it, and
sure.
boom, you spit it out.
Yep.
This nigga had the sunflower seeds sitting up in the damn
He
husk.
had the. Ah. Okay.
He ate the
Okay.
sunflower seeds out of it and left the
And,
husk.
and left the husk.
This motherfucker left the husk.
Like you telling squirrels, man.
All these fucking squirrels.
They are ingenious, man.
They're an invasive species.
They are. Absolutely. They absolutely are.
They're an absolute invasive species in America.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
it's the eastern gray squirrel.
Mm.
This motherfucker competes with native squirrels and species and birds and feed on bird eggs and the rest and their nestlings. They will eat the
Okay.
little nestlings, right? They're carriers of all kinds of disease and infect native squirrels and kill them off.
Wow. Okay.
Just like the freaking colonizers, you know what I mean? With the
Yeah.
Native Americans.
Yeah.
With the
Yeah.
native,
Yeah.
you know, and so
Yeah.
they freaking bringing their diseases and stuff. And so these
So these
they're
squirrels must be from
fucking
Europe or something.
everywhere.
Uh-huh.
They, the thing I heard something before about how like if
That's
somebody
so crazy.
if somebody alive back then got
Mm-hmm.
into a time machine and came to today's present time,
Mm-hmm.
one of the craziest things for them, got the technology, we got cars and planes and all that
Yep.
kind of stuff, is the amount of fucking squirrels we have. They would be like, what the fuck? These things were the
Mm.
rarest of rare creatures back when we first got here. They were rare that
Okay.
you would see a
Okay.
squirrel
So squirrels
in Northern
themselves. Okay.
America.
Okay.
And for them to be as ubiquitous, these fucking squirrels are everywhere. They're invasive.
Mm-hmm.
They fucking eat anything. And I just found one thing that's an abomination. God damn it, to mankind. In the store,
Mm-hmm.
they actually have, so next to the bird seeds,
Mm-hmm.
they have fucking squirrel feed.
Huh.
So people are intentionally feeding, buying stuff from the
Huh.
store to intentionally feed motherfucking squirrels.
But what if they're doing that? What if they're doing that in order to, like, as a distraction mechanism? Like, hey, you have your own separate
Have
meal
you ever met a
as opposed to the.
squirrel?
I mean, you
And he's
attract
gonna be
these.
like, no, I'm good. Nah, I'll pass.
You
I
attract
had
more.
lunch. I had a heavy lunch. I'm good. Are you kidding
I'm
me?
just saying, you attract more honey, right? Like
Nigga, please.
maybe.
He's gonna polish that off
Yeah,
and
probably come
find
right
the
back and
other
eat that shit.
shit
It's
and
probably
tell his
true.
homeboy about it too.
Mm-hmm. That's
Fucking
probably true. He
squirrel.
might absolutely bring his boys
Yeah.
to help finish that off. Yeah, no, I get that.
So this is gonna be an ongoing challenge for me because I'm all day long I'm chasing fucking squirrels,
Mm-hmm.
trying to like get them out. So I haven't defeated these
Mm-hmm.
squirrels just yet. All right, this is my nemesis.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and
Absolutely.
best believe I will be investing. You know what I mean? Probably half of my income to defeating these motherfucking squirrels. I can't believe
Probably.
that these motherfuckers is gonna outwit me. It ain't gonna happen. Damn it! I will
Can't
not
take
have
that.
it. I will
Can't
not
take
have
that
it.
L, bro.
Power Slap League is a goddamn thing, right? And so
Insane.
for those who don't know, who haven't been familiar with Power Slap, so a little bit in the background of them. So it's also known as Power Slap Road to the Title. It's a 2023 American television show broadcast by TBS. So contestants, and get ready for this because it's a very complicated and there's some maneuvers. You know, what I mean, there's so much strategy that has to go into this thing. So I'm going to explain to you
To
how
slap
it
somebody.
works. So just listen to you might need to rewind a couple of times, listen to a couple of times too. So this is generally
Mm-hmm.
our best synopsis of what the Power Slap League is. Contestants slap each other in the face in order to win the Power Slap League tournament.
That description is already. It's already.
That's it.
I'm already
Period.
like. I'm already
Period.
like.
That's
You know
it.
what? I don't think I'll sign up for this. I think I'm good.
The show's first season consisted of 8 episodes, followed by a pay-per-view event. I like where you're going with the
Bruh.
capitalism there. Not gonna
Bruh.
lie, but that's how it
Yeah.
ended. So,
Yeah.
um,
This one got 8 episodes. That's crazy.
8 episodes, and guess what? It wasn't all done in one take, probably.
I, I, I would hope not. I don't think people would survive.
So from the official,
Yeah.
so and here's the kicker.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give you a kicker, but I'm gonna read it from the powerslap.com website. It's a league, people. All right, powerslap.com. A little bit about the league in case you ain't know. Listen for the Easter egg. Power Slap is the world's premier slap fighting organization, licensed and sanctioned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission.
Of course.
Led by
Of course.
Dana White, Power Slap features competitors from across the globe battling on the ultimate stage to showcase their power, technique, and resolve.
Okay.
But did you
Right.
hear the Easter egg? Dana White, my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. Yeah. That's kind of what I thought you were getting at. I
What
kind of knew
are
you was
the
getting at that.
odds that the dude that we just talked about
Mm-hmm.
going viral for smacking his wife like a week before the fucking whatever,
Mm-hmm.
is this the season finale of this thing? It just went. There's part
Okay.
of this news report is this thing came up because something wow happened.
Uh-huh.
But like, is that a setup?
It makes you think that, right? Like, was Dana White advertising?
So that means that's kind of saying like his wife bought
Was
into
in
it,
on it.
was in on it.
Let me now let me pose this to you real quick, right? That would be crazy if it was like a whole setup, right? Let me pose this to you. I forget which. I think it was it Goodfellas? I think it was in that film. There was a scene where Al
I think
Pacino
Sopranos.
smacked. Was it Sopranos?
Oh no,
It
no,
was
wait, no, you're right.
no,
You're
no,
right. You
no.
might right.
I
You
think it
might
was
right.
Goodfellas. I think it was Goodfellas, where Al Pacino slapped fire out of his wife. Right, they were like in their home, and she was mad at him about something, and I think he was just like kind of wilding at that point or whatever. You know, obviously he's mob bosses or whatever. I can't remember exactly what the conversation was about, but she was like going at him,
Yeah.
right? And you could in the scene, the camera angle just focused on Al Pacino's face, and you can see him like gradually get angrier and angrier and angrier. Now this is part of the scene, right? He out of
Hold
like
on, hold on.
that's
You say Al
it's a
Pacino? I
specific.
don't think it was Al Pacino.
No. What I'm saying is it was Al Pacino. It absolutely was. The scene I'm talking about was Al Pacino and the woman that was playing his wife, right? I think it was Goodfellas. For some reason, I'm thinking it was Goodfellas,
All right,
right?
I'm gonna have to challenge you, bro.
Okay, you can go ahead. You can go ahead
I'm
and
gonna have to
challenge me.
challenge you. All right. I don't think Al Pacino was in Goodfellas.
He was in Sopranos. I thought he was in
No,
Goodfellas.
no, no. He was in Sopranos. Um,
Yeah, because I don't
uh,
recall him being in
no,
Sopranos.
no, no. Sopranos was a TV series. I forgot what the guy name was.
Oh no, you know what it is? You know what it is?
Robert De
Sorry,
Niro.
sorry. No, my bad. Sorry, my fault. Godfather. That's what it was.
Godfather.
He
Okay.
wasn't a Godfather. Yeah, I forgot about the other one. Yeah, it was Godfather. It was Godfather. And dang, yeah, I'm tripping. My bad. It was Godfather. Um, his wife, right, was just going at him, right, and basically calling him out on all the stuff that he was doing. That he was wild. That he was just because he was just wilding at one point in the movie. Um, the camera pointed at his face, and he was visibly getting angrier and angrier and angrier. And all of a sudden, he just slapped fire out of her. I mean, like he lunged at her and like he put his whole elbow and forearm and shoulder into it, like everything into it, and just slap fire out of her. She flew to the couch, right? And she was holding her face. She was like, ah. Now, why am I saying this? The director told Al Pacino, hey, I want you to do this particular thing. In this, I want you, the director told him that I want you to slap fire out of her. Like, I want you, like in this particular scene, I want you to slap fire out of her. This is the interesting part. She didn't even know this was gonna happen.
Oh, that's fucked up.
Director didn't tell him nothing.
I think I heard this. I think I heard
Yeah.
this joint.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, and you know what's kind of funny about it? It's kind of like, what if Dana White?
It made me look at The
What if
Godfather
Dana White
completely
actually?
different.
What if Dana White? So to your point, it's like, what if
Mhm.
Dana White was like,
You see
he
the connection I'm
did
trying to make
that
here.
and he didn't tell her, right? But then afterwards, he's
All
like,
right.
babe, trust me, nigga, try to explain that. Trust me, babe, it's for the marketing. I would
But
never lay finger on you. I promise. but
but that's
you're
why I
gonna
want to throw
get,
it out there.
but you're gonna
Like,
get an extra vacation in Cabo somewhere because I think that was in Cabo they was at. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, they were a couple. Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
gonna be paid for by this particular video because it's gonna help
Yep.
the slap league.
Listen, listen. I wouldn't.
Yo,
I wouldn't put it. I wouldn't put it
you know
past.
what? You know why I wouldn't put it past her? I wouldn't put it past her because the same reason I'm not putting it past any of these contestants to be part of
Mm.
the goddamn Power Slap League.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there was this dude that won the Power Slap competition, and it generated some controversy.
Mm-hmm.
Deadline wrote an
Okay.
article about it because some people were commenting like, "Yo, what's next? Let's see who can survive a stabbing." You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
like, yo,
Yeah.
you can't play no defense in Power Slap.
Yeah. That's crazy.
You can't try to time the, you know what I mean, the block. You can't do nothing. You have
Mm-hmm.
to sit there and fucking take your only
And take it.
defense is your goddamn numbskull. Your fucking Neanderthals.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And so
Absolutely.
all it is really is who can take the most punishment.
Mm-hmm.
Because even if you got a
Pain
big
tolerance.
hand and you're like 6'5" or something like that, you can smack
Mm-hmm.
somebody. But they have a thicker skull. They have a freaking, you know, what I
Mm-hmm.
mean, they have an iron jaw,
Yeah.
as they might call them in boxing. You know, but ain't no defense in this joint. You just taking a smack and you just, and this one dude was like, I see a bag at the other end of this rainbow. I mean, it ain't much of a rainbow. That's a freaking shitty ass rainbow.
Yeah.
But that dude made his mind that he was gonna die for this.
Mm.
And okay, so what did they write up over here? So a video tweet by Dr. Chris Nowinski, neuroscientist and founder of the Concussion Legacy Foundation. Bro, we passed concussions with this fucking slap league shit. Some of these
Yeah. Yeah.
videos
Absolutely.
has garnered
Absolutely.
more than 15 million views after showing a particularly disturbing moment from the show, hosted and created by UFC president Dana White. In the first few minutes of the program that debuted Wednesday, this article was written on. This was just this past week. Actually, yeah, this just happened. Okay. In the first few minutes of the program that debuted Wednesday, a contestant named Chris Kennedy is literally knocked to the ground after the first slap by opponent Chris Thomas. Dude, this nigga was lights out.
Mm.
That first dude was lights out. Like the
Mm.
first fucking few minutes of this fucking show. It takes a few beats before Kennedy, who shows the telltale signs of a concussion by clenching his arms and fists. So this is what happened
Yeah.
when we talked about Tua.
Mm-hmm.
When he got knocked the fuck out on the football field and his
Mm-hmm.
fingers were,
Started to, yeah,
you know,
neurological
clenching
responses.
up,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
By clenching his arms and fists, he regains consciousness after hearing a doctor tell him what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Um, got knocked out doing what? Was I fighting? This is what he said. I was fighting? Wait, what? This is so sad. Nowinski tweets, note the fencing posture. They call that the fencing posture, right? He was doing
Yeah.
this thing with his fingers, right?
Okay. Okay.
With the first brain injury, he may never be the same again. I said shit like this with Tua,
With
the
Tua,
Miami
yeah,
Dolphins
yeah.
quarterback. Okay.
You have mentioned that. Mm-hmm.
He added Dana White on this and TBS, who's putting this out to the nation, by the way, right? Because by the way, there's going to be backyard leagues of this shit built up throughout America.
There's
It
already
happened with
backyard leagues that.
WWE. It
Yeah.
happens with UFC. There's
UFC. Yep.
backyard leagues that people are gonna get knocked the fuck out and get fucking permanent brain damage because like he may never be the same again. Okay, so
Yeah.
this
Your
is
boy.
just
Your boy Kimbo Slice. That's how he got his notoriety from
most likely
backyard
that's how he
fighting.
got
Yeah.
notoriety, and
So
then
this
he
stuff
ended up
exists
moving
everywhere.
on to MMA. So
Yeah.
this is he ends up by saying this is pure exploitation. What's next? Who can survive a stabbing?
I
So
mean that's obviously an extreme example, but it's to make a point because it's a slippery slope. Like, yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is I mean, it's just egregious. The fact that you are, well, one, it's already kind of even uneven in a way because it is predicated on because it's predicated on who has the most pain tolerance
that's
and
it.
physiological makeup. Like, yeah, so it's like if you're just not like if you're not physiologically made up in a certain way to be able to take that kind of punishment, obviously you're not gonna win it. Like it's not really skill, really. It's not really much skill outside of like just aiming exactly at the right spot. But other than that, there's nothing.
I mean, hold on, wait.
That's
Let's
only
not, let's
what's
not just
where's the other
throw,
skill in it?
let's
Like,
not just throw that away. Let's not just throw that line up because
okay,
you can knock a nigga out, you know what I mean, strategically and technically. You know what I mean? It's like if you miss a slap and you just
mm-hmm,
get all fingers on the chin,
mm-hmm.
you ain't gonna knock nobody out. It might it might
Okay,
be
yeah,
it might be
yeah.
offensive. I'd be
Mm-hmm.
like, sir.
Yeah, yeah,
So you know what I mean?
yeah,
There's this thing to be given, but like you know what? And like try to get like that meaty part of your hand maybe.
yeah.
And where do you want it to land? Do you want it to land on the front area, bridge area
Mm-hmm.
from nose to cheekbone, or do you want to land maybe like temple, or maybe that's against the rules? I don't know if they
Mm-hmm.
have that on the rules, or should it all be all cheek where like the judges are like, oh, you missed the cheek, you got to have some cheek
Okay,
on there.
I guess so. I mean, there is some strategy you can apply to it because based on the person, based on the person that you're slapping, you can be
This
like,
nigga got a
okay,
big head. I got all this real
yeah,
estate to work with. God
yeah,
damn.
yeah, exactly. He has a big head, so you like, so it's like, okay, I can slap him in this spot to affect his vision a little bit. So when he's trying to slap me, he'll miss and not be as accurate, right?
Yeah.
So maybe that could be it as well. It's like,
Yep.
okay,
Yep. That
I
get
can
that
hit him in
eye.
certain
Get that
spots.
eye. Oh,
So
he's
yeah,
right-handed.
to
So
yeah,
maybe you know what? Boom, you hit on that right.
mm,
So he can't get his distance right
yeah,
or something
right,
like that. Right?
right. So
Maybe there might be some
maybe
strategy on it. Okay.
maybe you can apply some strategy
But
there.
so far, it's
Mm,
barely registered a blip on TBS,
mm.
despite a decent lead-in from AEW wrestling.
AEW, yep, yep, yep.
It ends at 10 p.m. The show reportedly averaged 300,000 viewers and a 0.10 rating in the 18 to 49 demo, right? So it's probably going to be, and probably male is what they're going to
Oh
want
yeah,
out there.
I'm
So
sure.
sadly,
I'm sure.
the attention though is getting by Nowinski could improve things in week two. Okay, so that was the first episode.
Mm-hmm.
Why did I hear something about the championship? I'm getting some timelines crossed here.
Okay,
Anyways, the show begins with warning. Along with that, old TV chestnut, viewer discretion is advised.
absolutely.
The following program features activities that are dangerous and or may expose participants to the risk of serious injury. Do not attempt to recreate and reenact these activities. Nigga, please. Nigga, we about to go
Ain't
on
nobody listening to
TikTok tomorrow.
that. That's a fact.
And niggas is finna
That's a
try.
fact.
Yo, you go to the Buffalo Bills tailgate and fools are jumping off wild stuff trying to break tables. It's a Buffalo Bills
I've seen
tradition.
that. I've seen that. Yeah, yeah, I've seen that.
You telling me not to freaking reenact this joint? You're trying to
Uh-huh.
cover your butt. I get it, but you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, we know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, from there, the premise of Power Slap, round to the title, is painfully simple. Like I was saying earlier, an athlete is given. So here's some of the rules. You say it doesn't take no technique. Here's some of the rules. All right.
Okay.
This is precision over here, right? This is like
Mm-hmm.
the height of sportsmanship
Mm-hmm.
and technical prowess for the
Mm-hmm.
human species. We've
Mm-hmm.
evolved all these hundreds of thousands of years to get here to where we know exactly what it's going to take to remove an individual from their consciousness. And here's some rules so that we could
Mm-hmm.
be, you know, it's civilized. We'll call
Yeah.
this civilized.
Okay.
All
All
right.
right.
The athlete is given 30 seconds to slap an opponent hard enough that he will either one fall to the ground and stay there, or judges deem him too weak to move on with the comp. There are 3 rounds of slapping, and there are 4 classes of competition: welterweight, middleweight, uh, light heavyweight, and heavyweight. And women participate as well.
Mm-hmm.
I saw this video.
How many? How many attempts per round does the
It
article
didn't say that.
disclose?
It didn't say that.
Okay.
I didn't see
Okay.
that part. But I saw this one video of this lady, 2 ladies.
Yo, two ladies slapping each other is hilarious, bro. that is, I'm not gonna lie. That is that is hilarious. Bro.
Oh,
It's not something you see every day, so it's kind of hilarious. Mm.
she tried to get up, and that bitch was trying to get up, and that bitch did a front flip, just like a somersault.
What? Yo,
No,
dang, she slapped
and the
500.
and the ref
Yeah.
did not stop the match.
Oh,
And the ref didn't stop
that's
the
what.
match.
So what does it
They
take
they
to
eventually
like?
they eventually stopped it, but they didn't stop it at that point. She freaking had no equilibrium, trying to stand back up to get
Oh,
back in the
that's a
fight,
TKO for sure.
trying to
Yeah, she
stand
was
up.
out of
And
it.
that's a TKO in
That's a
boxing. You call
TKO.
that.
Yeah,
You call that.
yeah
At
she's
least in
out.
boxing,
She's not even there anymore.
yo, that's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
People are not appreciating boxing. Okay, all right. All right. I'm not gonna carry water for boxing. It's
But
a
no, but
savage sport.
boxing is but it's an art though.
It's an
I
art.
get it. I get it, but boxing is an art for real though.
And yo, it's nothing like the so like you Floyd Mayweather is an
Mm-hmm.
artist.
Yeah, absolutely.
For him to go as far as he's like
Absolutely.
and have and be undefeated, like you don't
Mm.
understand because boxing is an actual fucking sport.
Yeah.
Now, with that said, there's a lot of fucking damage that was done through boxing. Look at Ali,
Yeah, yeah, that's yeah,
several
sure.
other athletes, right?
Sure.
I get concussions are still a thing, even in
Mm-hmm.
boxing. I'm not caping for boxing like that, but I just want to make the one point in saying that what MMA doesn't have that boxing has, and how boxing is more of an art, and you get points off of the art. This is why
Yes.
Mayweather's so good.
So UFC doesn't like there isn't like a point system at all in UFC at all. I mean, I don't really follow it,
I
but
mean, there's
I'm just
points. I mean,
wondering.
there's judges. The judges give you points for
Yeah.
like takedowns and
Yeah. Yeah.
knockdowns and
Mm.
stuff like that. But the main thing I was trying to get the difference between boxing, how boxing is an art, because it rewards you for defense than it does just for like
Yes, it does. It
offense,
does.
which is the
Yeah.
slapping is just all offense, no defense.
Yeah.
Is that Floyd Mayweather is the greatest of all time?
Mm-hmm.
You know, because he's like this defense is
Yeah.
immaculate, right?
Yeah.
Um, in boxing, so to my point, trying to finish this point off, boxing, a ref can be like, yo, this dude head isn't right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he made the 10 count, but he ain't right to me. I can make the judgment call. He's out,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Whereas UFC, you have to go through a lot. You have to like legitimately, they will bend your arm to
Mm.
99%. I'm about to break this. Ref,
Mm.
you see, I'm about to break this, right?
Mm.
But the ref ain't gonna call it
Mm.
until you break it.
Mm.
And even when you pop something, you hear something pop. If it's not very, very apparent that this thing is just hanging loose,
Yeah.
they'll let it go
That was kind of
until the
like the
person
Conor
taps
McGregor
out.
fight.
And you have some of
Yeah.
these motherfuckers who will not tap out. They will die for this.
Mm.
So that's the video that happened with the fucking slap league. Is this dude, this Asian dude that just won the championship,
Mm-hmm.
his head is caved in,
Yeah. I saw that photo. It looks crazy.
swollen,
It looks
eyes shut.
crazy. Yeah.
But guess what? He's still standing, and he's still coherent. He's talking to the refs and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, okay, go ahead. So that's why Dr. Nowinski is like, yo, this dude has brain damage currently. It didn't hit that particular
Yeah.
part of the brain that just turns the lights out,
Mm-hmm.
but everything around it is fucking trash.
Yeah.
You don't see it because he's still standing and he's still coherent.
Mm-hmm.
But the body has evolved in a particular way where these things are maybe siloed off where he can still be functioning. But bruh, that dude face is never gonna be the same again. He
Mm-hmm.
has skull fracture for sure. His eyes are
Yes.
swollen shut.
It
Definitely
looked bad.
multiple concussions during that event.
Mm-hmm. It looked
So
bad.
I bring this up because it's all tied in to fucking sports as a form of entertainment,
Yep.
and how these athletes, quote unquote, are just fucking disposable.
Mm-hmm.
Is Dana White right again? in that he's just giving us. He's like, man, come on, y'all know y'all want to see these football players fully on steroids,
Mm-hmm.
fully swole, all the drugs in their system, like all the fucking painkillers and everything, and just go ham. I want to see a 260-pound wide receiver, 6'7", versus a freaking 6'3", 300-pound cornerback running 4.5.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what we want to see at the end of the day.
Yeah, looking like avatars. Looking like
Looking
avatars
like
running.
fucking cartoons out there.
Yeah, for real.
Your lineman is
Yeah.
is like minimum 7 feet
Yeah.
tall.
Yeah.
Freaking 500 pounds, all muscle.
These guys are massive, bro. I ain't gonna hold
This
you.
is what we really want to see. We want to
Yeah.
see the ultimate fucking like absurdity of these gladiator bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And Dana White is just like, you know what? I'm just gonna ring this shit out and give y'all motherfuckers the exact shit y'all. Y'all just want to see fucking
Yep.
death and destruction.
Mm.
That's it. I'm gonna take all these
Yeah.
rules and flags and penalties and freaking widescreens and freaking flying in a drone. Oh, look, there's a Goodyear blimp. You know, fuck all that shit. You want to see this nigga knock this nigga the fuck out.
That's a fact.
That's it. That's what you really want to see.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Even when you're watching boxing, and I really boxing is a sport that I really enjoy watching, especially when you see two guys who can really fight for real, who really got it down. What makes people stand up, if you notice, if you're watching the boxing fight, what makes people stand up is like a crazy haymaker that lands and the person gets rocked or like someone get knocked out. But you're not seeing people stand up and excited about just the craftsmanship.
Floyd Mayweather fights.
Yeah, you don't see people stand. Yeah,
fuck.
Yeah,
people.
Yeah,
to people,
the casual watch, to the casual watcher, but to the boxing fan who understands the sport. Yeah.
I've been replaying some of his dodges. I'm like, yo, how the fuck did he see that coming?
Literally, I'll watch. There are certain fighters that I would literally watch just to look at their footwork.
Yep.
Like literally,
Hey, I'm gonna give you this though. I'm gonna say this though. Pacquiao
has probably one of the best to me.
The best
footwork. Yeah, absolutely. Pacquiao was his footwork is amazing. Absolutely. One guy who I think don't get enough recognition for that is Muhammad Ali. He has a lot of his footwork was pretty good too. He took a lot of hits because he was always flashy, but if we're talking about footwork though, he was like early on, like he was one of those guys that had that too. But Pacquiao,
he took a lot of hits, and we see how he ended up.
And we see exactly. But as far as but top tier elite footwork, Pacquiao is him and Canelo. Like in modern age, Canelo.
Yo, I love watching Canelo box. I will pay. I was paid to watch a Canelo fight. You know,
absolutely, absolutely.
Like
no question
Mayweather,
about it.
you know what I mean? Like I'll pay to watch Mayweather fight, but I won't always pay because like I know I'm like he's gonna win because he's like y'all motherfuckers still don't realize boxing is about the points.
It's about the point system.
He figured it out. It's a point system, and it's an art. Yeah, some of y'all be going in this joint like Wilder. Like I love Wilder. I love his heart. Yeah. But yo, he's gonna be losing to Tyson Fury like forever because
he can't box. He can't box like Tyson.
Wilder, he can't box like Tyson Fury.
He can't box like Tyson.
You know what I mean? So
you gotta box.
With that said, I granted all that stuff, and so I watched these things. I was still watching the film. But you know what? They're gonna have to take it away from my cold dead hands. Because I still be watching some of this stuff, you know. Yeah. I don't watch it as religiously as I used to, but I catch the YouTube. I'll catch the a highlight somewhere else and stuff. So I still get drawn to it, but we need to stop. We need to disavow ourselves of the illusion, right? That we are not just sophisticated fucking savages. Is what we all really are.
Sophisticated savages. That's interesting. Okay.
We made a movie about it. It's called Gladiator.
Yeah.
That movie Gladiator is what they were doing in the Coliseum. We're still doing that shit now. We just dress it up.
And
it's putting lipstick on a pig. It's putting lipstick on a pig. It was big business back then. It's big business now.
Yep.
And we're throwing bodies into this fucking shit for entertainment. But because people are in such desperate fucking need in spaces and places, they're like, you know what? Hey, this is better than whatever else I got fucking going on in society. So I'll fucking take the slap and take the slap and get my family out of a fucking situation.
Yeah, I thought about that earlier when you were talking about the Asian guy. It's like people are coming from everywhere. Because he says people from people, like
Yeah.
contestants are from everywhere in the world. So like, yeah, it's like I do this because it depends on if I can feed my family or not, or this is a life and death situation kind of thing. So yeah,
Yeah.
I think motivation plays a lot into as far as like what's going on in that person's life probably. So
I
yeah,
don't know.
and most in some of the contestants, not all the contestants obviously, but some of the contestants.
I don't know what tomorrow is gonna look like for that there's one dude who won the championship. And the thing is like,
Yeah.
yo, he looked like, yo, this dude is done. There's no way this guy can continue. And he went several rounds and he ended up winning. He ended up winning. This
Wow.
nigga, like, so that dude was telling you, you see how crazy the side of my face is looking right now?
Mm-hmm.
I'm willing to die for this because my situation and the people that are depending on me,
Mm.
like, are I'm in that particular spot. Like, I can't imagine. This might be a little bit of the elitism talking for
Mm.
my system,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm gonna take a slap to put food on the table. Me, this is
Mm.
Darwin Darko. I'm
Yeah.
gonna take a slap.
Uh-huh.
Nigga, I don't even change my own tires. What the fuck are you talking about? Are you what?
That's fair.
And I'm in the
That's
gym and
fair.
I
It's a
work out and
different.
stuff like that, but
Yeah.
no.
Uh, it's and this is the interesting point you're getting at, right? Because coming from what we came from to where we are now,
To see
I can
the
pay for those
hunger.
services.
You
Right?
see
It's
the
like
hunger.
I've everything that I did, everything that I've done was to get to a place where I don't have to do those things.
Mm-mm.
Well, I ain't gotta change my tire. Yeah, I worked hard, so I don't have to do that myself. Like I'm paying for it anyways in my insurance. So I'm gonna use them. I'm gonna use these systems that's been in
I'm
place.
paying it already. I might as well get in the
Right.
car and check my timeline. Am I
Yeah,
right?
I'm
On my
just
phone.
saying.
Yeah, it's the back right tire. And had
Yep.
that fool do that joint. You know what I'm talking about?
But let's see what's going on IG while he's doing that.
You
You
know
know
what
what I'm
I'm
saying?
talking
Like,
about? Like, it's just a certain scale, but some people are in that particular situation, and
mm,
there's always going to be a league to exploit you motherfuckers. All of
yes.
us. It's exploit all of us. Whether if it was the military, how they did me, I was in the Navy,
Mm-hmm.
or whatever corporation you work with, like,
Yep. That's the whole thing
you
there.
are on their fucking accounting line. You are a number on their accounting line. Best
Mm-hmm.
believe it.
Mm-hmm.
COVID is an example. Motherfuckers died left and right,
Oh
and these
man,
businesses made
COVID.
record fucking profits.
Yeah,
So
COVID was. There are people, especially like even entrepreneurs.
yeah,
There are people during COVID that made the most money they ever made. And I'm like, and
yeah,
I was like, COVID year, like. But you're right. Yeah, you saw and understood what your value was as an employee of a company or whatever that might be. COVID year,
yeah.
you
So
saw what
COVID
it
was,
was like.
yeah.
If it wasn't obvious before, I think COVID year probably shows you what it is, what companies actually think about their
So have
employees.
no illusion. We're to the point
Yeah.
where this thing is distilled down to its purest form in
Mm-hmm.
Slaply. This
Mm-hmm.
is America. I think I'm disillusioned with the entire merit-based system. And we we talk about people that try hard and really put their all into something, and that, you know what, they studied hard. I mean, congratulations to you. You passed your test and you got your cert and everything like that. But
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm thinking a little bit bigger picture. And when
Mm-hmm.
I say that, like, the merit system is bullshit. Um,
Mm.
there are just a lot of there. I mean, it might matter. It might matter for
Depending on the field you're
something,
in.
give you some points, but
Yeah.
like, yo,
Yeah.
the system is so big and so like structured against you, especially being a black man in
Mm-hmm.
America, a
Mm-hmm.
Haitian black man in America,
Yep.
um, that you are set up against pretty much all odds, right? We mentioned a little bit about the immigration earlier,
Yep.
And
Yep.
Florida is wild, man. Florida is wild. We're from Florida. Um,
Yeah.
we're I'm an immigrant to Florida. You were born in Florida.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You can have that crown. Congratulations, right? And so I'm a naturalized citizen.
Mm.
So I'm a Florida resident inevitably because of my tie to Florida,
Yep.
growing up there, and that's where I immigrated to. But Florida be on some shit.
So a lot of stuff that go on in Florida. I'll be honest about that.
Yo, for Ron DeSantis, his government that he structured there are not banning African American history studies as an AP course in Florida. So BBC reports this. I like to read
Hmm.
um, articles from places outside of the U.S.
I would highly recommend. I already know where you're going with that. I would highly recommend people do that in general, because you'll find that those articles are more objective when you're they're more objective because they're reporting on news obviously outside of their own country, their own
They have
culture.
less of a
Yeah,
stake.
they have exactly. They have no dog in the fight, right? They have no dog in the fight, so it's more likely that they're gonna obviously write about this particular whatever event it might be in a more objective way, because there's no motivation. They're just reporting what they've seen, heard, or whatever. I would highly recommend people do that. And BBC is one of those outlets that I also read commonly as well because of that. But go ahead.
So this is part of again the media.
Yes.
Like I'm not done with y'all motherfuckers. I
Yeah.
never will be,
Yeah.
right? Because um in this case, this is an example of like sometimes you know what? Another thing about the media, when you're talking about doing your research, go find a source that's unbiased,
Yes.
right? That have
Yeah.
no stake in the game because that will
Mm-hmm.
also help you. And even then, they might still have their own
They
bias
might.
over whatever
Yeah.
the hell they want. But
Based
still,
on their
that's
relationship.
another
Mm-hmm.
level of hurdle that
Yep.
you could keep in your brain about
Mm-hmm.
what's going on with this particular news article that you're reading. So right now I'm
Yes.
reading from BBC. All right, so Florida officials have blocked the introduction of a new advanced level high school course that teaches African American history. Governor Ron DeSantis his administration said the proposed course, like, okay, God, this is so ridiculous. He said that the course lacks educational value
Bro.
and is contrary to Florida law. The course is being rolled out
What?
in a pilot program by the U.S. College Board to 60 high schools
Uh-huh.
across the country, mind you, right?
Uh-huh.
This is the College Board because these courses are AP courses.
Mm-hmm.
So you take an AP course, you pass, you
Yeah.
get a grade, you can
Yep.
get college credit for it.
Yep.
And getting college credit is particularly important to people of color because those of us of color tend to be the highest um, percentage when it comes to taking out. Well, we're disproportionately likely to take student loans because we can't have our grandparents pay for it because we didn't
Mm-hmm.
have somebody give us a trust fund to pay for
Mm-hmm.
college. So guess
Mm-hmm.
what? If we can have an AP course that we already passed that gives us college credit, we don't have to pay for it in college because
That
public
course, yeah.
school was free because
Mm-hmm.
we went to a public high school.
Yeah.
That helps us as the later um, person to hold college student loans.
Yes.
That lessens the loans that I have to take because there's
Yeah.
less
I
classes
just took a
that I
course.
have to
Yeah.
pay for.
Yep.
Right? I just
Yep.
took a course because I took the
Yeah.
AP course because I was smart enough to figure this shit out in
Mm-hmm.
fucking high school.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so the AP board is important and it helps students of color.
Yeah.
But there's
That's
all kinds of freaking downfalls with the AP system itself. When you go
yeah.
to these
I
classes,
took AP economics senior year, and even then it was really more like a pilot program they were trying out at New Orleans. So
mm-hmm.
um
And I'll say that even because I've taken AP courses too. So
mm,
I took AP chemistry when I was in high school, and
mm,
when you go in that class for some reason, even as black ass Miami Gardens that we grew up in,
For
it
real.
was mostly nothing but white people in that damn
Yeah.
class.
Yeah. White people, you didn't even know that. White people, you didn't even know attended the school. Like, where did you come from? I never
Like,
see you.
yo, I'm involved in art. I'm involved in
Yeah.
theater and
Yep.
sports and everything. Like, I never see none of these white folks
Yep.
anywhere else in school, but they're here in this fucking class, congregated, right?
Yep.
So you enter these spaces, you will realize, yo, there's a whole nother fucking system happening,
Mm-hmm.
even
Whole
above
nother system.
the
Absolutely.
fucking system that we normally see. You see the
Absolutely.
football team and
Yep.
everywhere and pep rallies. You see the track team everywhere. You know what I mean? When they pull out the school newspaper
Dang.
or and
That's so
everything.
crazy.
But
I
you
peeped
don't
that in high school. That's so crazy.
the AP courses, and you don't see
Yeah.
all these white folks
Yeah.
is the ones
Yep.
that's
Yep.
gonna end up fucking. But actually, you know what? I will say this though, my particular class, there was a black girl that was valedictorian. So we got that one, but everybody
Yeah.
else was
Yeah.
fucking these white
The
folks.
valid the valedictorian of our class was, yeah, she was black too, actually. She was black
Yeah.
too.
So
Yeah.
so hey, shout outs to white folks. These smart white kids that we grew up with. I'm still friends with a lot of y'all. Um, but there was the sister was kind of
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah. There was, yeah, some fishy
And
business
this is
going
an
on there.
example of this fucking shit. And so it would help black folks to have AP courses that they can apply to college credits. But anyways,
Yeah.
so we'll continue. The Florida Department of Education outlined its intent to block the course in a January letter, and this was the 12th of January, to the College Board, writing that the course violates state law. Okay, in the future, should the College Board be willing to come back to the table with lawful, historically accurate content, we'll always be willing to reopen the discussion. The letter said the Advanced Placement African American Studies course is the College Board's first new class since 2014. It
Mm-hmm.
is set to cover more than 400 years of African American history, touching on topics like literature, political science, and geography.
Mm-hmm.
The course is part of a broader AP program in U.S. high schools, which gives students the chance to take college level courses before graduating. All right. So a statement from the spokesman for Florida Republican Governor Ron DeSantis said the course leaves large, ambiguous gaps that can be filled with additional identical material, which we will not allow. Right. The thing is, though, AP courses in Florida and across the country
Mm-hmm.
include things like European history,
Yes.
Spanish heritage,
Mm-hmm.
um, Native American studies.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it that when the black shit come up, you got something to fucking say?
Mm-hmm.
And what fucking law can you cite it, please?
That's what I was thinking. Like, what law are you
Which
saying
particular
that this
law
is against?
are you talking
Yeah.
about exactly?
What law? Yeah, exactly. I'm like, that's the first thing that came to my mind. What law are you referencing that is being broken here?
The decision to block the African American Studies course has been met with outrage from the National Parents Union, who said
Of
the
course.
ban is a direct attack on the black and all, this indigenous and persons of color communities. This behavior is
Yeah.
dangerous and should concern every American, the
Mm-hmm.
organization said, adding that they will challenge the decision. The ban was also criticized by Florida state senator, Democrat Senator Chevron Jones. Again, take note, who is against the black shit and who is like a lot of black shit. Now, I'll pause a moment to say this. I'm not capping for Democrats when I say this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just pointing out there's a party here that is willing to at least fucking acquiesce, at least pander to Negroes.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a party that don't give a fuck, that want to erase black history and black influence and black contribution to the United States of America.
Mm-hmm.
I digress. I'll continue. So last year, Governor DeSantis passed a Stay Woke Act that regulates how lessons on race
Stop. I think it's
and
stop woke. Said,
what did I say?
He said stay woke. You see where your mind at?
Last year, Governor DeSantis passed a Stop Woke Act
Mm-hmm.
that regulates how lessons on race and gender are taught in Florida schools. In Florida, we are taking a stand against the state sanctioned racism that is critical race theory.
And I'm pretty sure that is literally his his reasoning as to why he's opposing this because of
No, but I talked to you
his position
before,
on
and,
this.
and they say here it's basically it's the academic framework that denotes the existence of systemic racism in American society. In
Mm,
particular,
mm-hmm.
it's about um, how it affects how it takes effect in the law, like how the law is written in American statutes and all that
Yep.
kind of stuff, and
Okay.
how race has been evident in these things. Like
Yeah.
we have the 13th
Obvious.
Amendment.
Yeah.
That's like your starting point right there,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So there's a certain amount of blackness that Ron DeSantis wants to erase um,
Absolutely.
from
It's
schooling.
clear. It's clear. That's very clear here
So
in this article. It's very clear.
what's up? What's up with your peoples in Florida? Florida man, you lived there longer than I did.
Florida is a. I mean, obviously, it's a red state. Ron DeSantis is one of those guys who, although he wasn't like on the Trump wagon, he was one of his supporters initially. And then he kind of like
Well,
veered off a bit.
he's gonna be his primary competitor.
But he's gonna, yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So he veered off a little bit. To strategically probably because of that very fact, because he's gonna be his number one competitor. In the Republican primary. It's just one of their talking points. Like it's one of their talking points that they all, just as a Republican of that type of Republican, I'm going to say that because I still believe that there are actual Republicans who are true conservatives who really believe in like real conservatism and when it comes to governance and all that stuff. But there's a sect of obviously Republicans that are just like this is what they run on, right? There are particular points that they run on. And Ron DeSantis, although he's a competitor to Trump, he's still this is kind of like what he stands on as far as whitewashing, seeking to whitewash obviously African American history.
If you
Like
ever
I mean, like
doubted
and it's very
whitewashing
obvious.
was a thing,
Yeah, I'm sorry.
if anybody ever doubted whitewashing was a
Yeah,
thing,
yeah, it's clear, it's obvious. Like it's very obvious. Like it's like you're literally being ignorant if you don't think it's a
yeah,
thing. Like it's absurd.
yeah,
Like it's absolutely absurd.
this is America.
Um, yeah, it's exactly, and that's the thing that makes it not surprising, right? So,
Yeah.
but he's one of those guys. Like Ron DeSantis is one of those guys uh that seeks to do that, right? That seeks to do that because of the truth of slavery. A lot of people can't handle that. But it's one of the talking points that he stands on, and I think that's the reason why he's behaving this way. It's not because it's against some kind of law or something like that. That's not really the motivation here. It's this is what him and his colleagues, this is what they support, trying to eradicate this
So I read
this
another article
blackness.
that was saying
Yeah.
how like they never really cite what particular law
Of
was
course not, because
broken.
there is no law. There is no
There
law that it's
is no
against.
fucking law. Like this is
Because there
fucking
is none.
dumb, bro. Like
Yeah.
critical race theory is not being taught in Florida high schools, and you're not
Yeah,
gonna
it's
do
not.
this shit with
Yeah.
colleges. You're not,
Yeah.
because like the law schools and the freaking
Mm.
stakeholders for the law schools and stuff like that, they ain't gonna have that bullshit with your
Yeah,
ass.
they're not going.
Like
Yeah,
they
they
have a
don't have that.
particular course study, and in
Mm-hmm.
colleges, the course study you may study critical race theory. In college, it's not something you study in high school.
Mm-hmm.
What high school is just teaching you is the legitimate. Like, yo, I went to a museum
But
the
this is
other.
this is an AP course, and I'm reading. I saw the rest of the article that one of the African American scholars said that it's not going to touch on that, like the actual curriculum is not
Yeah,
going to touch on.
Henry Louis
Um,
Gates, right?
yeah,
Who's a scholar, a national scholar on
yeah,
African American studies and African American history.
yep,
He said that this is just mainstream stuff. He said
mm-hmm,
this is mainstream. It's rigorously vetted.
yep,
It's an academic approach to a vibrant field of study. It's just like
absolutely,
it's just giving like a broad range of a lot of stuff that happened in history when it comes to
yeah,
um, the economic attributions that you can make for
mm-hmm,
African Americans, when it comes to the inventiveness, right?
yeah.
When it comes to actually, they were not indentured servants, they were
They're
slaves.
actually
And
slaves.
here
Yes.
is how
Yeah.
slaves were treated. And guess
Yep.
what? When it comes to the Civil War, here is how some of them found their way out of slavery because they
Hmm.
committed to even maybe the Confederate Army,
Right.
because they were promised freedom or something,
Yep.
or even how they committed to Union Army. Like they were there, like
And even how
under.
slavery, even how the business of slavery was connected to the funding of the Confederate Army as far as the resources to even have an army,
Yeah,
right?
you know what I mean. So like
So
they're
it's a lot
telling
of
you
different things.
the
Yeah.
whole true story,
Yeah.
whereas um a lot of these other places that they write history, like Ron DeSantis is trying to have, um, bro, they leaving a lot of stuff out.
Yeah. Of course they are. We know we know what it is.
They leaving a lot of
we
details
both went
out.
to high school. We know they leave a lot of stuff out. Even
Yo,
and I went to University of Florida.
yeah,
I had African American core studies. They are leaving stuff out, even at the University of Florida.
yeah.
I'm just saying. Like I love my university. It was a fun time, but there are some things that I was just kind of like, come on, bro. I see
So
what's
I
happening
mean,
here.
all I'm saying when it comes to
Keep it
all this
funky.
is just like
Mm.
this ain't nothing new.
It's
This ain't
not.
nothing new because
Absolutely not.
like freaking Greg Abbott is doing the same thing in fucking Texas. And Texas is there's this thing that goes on with books when it comes to public schooling, that they will
Mm-hmm.
go off of what Texas kind of leads, because it's such a big demand base in Texas, because it's such
Yes.
a large state, that
Mm-hmm.
usually other states go off of like kind of like the purchase order of what Texas does.
Okay.
So whatever Texas does, they then it
They just
becomes the
adopt it.
national it becomes the national standard after a couple of years. It becomes adopted
Okay.
by everybody else.
Okay. Okay.
So Florida's another big ass state that has that kind of pull.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So like bullshit like this, if it can catch
That's true.
fire. It can
Yeah.
catch fire. And next you know,
Yeah.
5 years from now, we're fighting for the basic of basic shit that
Mm-hmm.
we thought we had as a fucking right in terms of a public education
Mm-hmm.
for our kids and our kids' kids. And
Mm-hmm.
Ron DeSantis is wilding. And this ain't the first time, or it's gonna be the last time that we hear from him. There's another election coming up in 2024. Trump already announced that he's running. Ron DeSantis is gonna be a main competitor, probably. All the polling
Absolutely.
says he is.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but this guy I will warn you out there, he will do anything for power. And he is a way more polished version of Trump. Part of the
Yes.
problem with him being
Yes,
that
he is.
polished, though, is that
Uh-huh.
he's not as ruthless, because Trump will never say
That's
uncle.
true. That's true. I do find that
Trump
to be true.
is the ultimate power slap champion. Y'all just not fucking ready for that.
But that's because Trump is reckless and he doesn't care about nothing
If you
but
want to be
himself.
power
So
slap champion, my G,
yeah, you gotta be ready to die for this.
gotta be ready for die for this.
You gotta be ready. All right. So last week you had some interesting choices as far as the vibes goes, right? I think you had RuPaul on there. Yeah, what was the other person that you had on there?
Anti-flag,
Yeah, anti-flag. Yeah, anti-flag. Yeah,
anti-flag. I couldn't remember.
yeah. And I think we also discovered that I think we overestimated why Green Day called themselves Green Day. We gave them way too much
Turns
credit.
out
Turns
it's
out
not that deep.
speaking on these interesting choices, what vibes you got for this weekend?
This weekend, the vibes was, bro, Detroit rapper Boldy James got a new album, Indiana Jones. Um, this one was produced by Rich Gaines. So the thing with Boldy James is like he
Okay.
puts out albums with a bunch of different producers and stuff, and so it'll be one producer, but this one was like by Rich Gaines,
Mhm.
and the shit is so vibey. The shit is so vibey. See, the thing is, I'm a lo-fi fan.
Oh yeah, I like lo-fi too. Like I actually I like that as like background elevator music kind of thing. Lo-fi. Yeah, I'm into
Yeah, but
that.
I don't want to be. I don't want to make it sound like I'm like. It's not a diss. It's I love it. You know what I mean?
Well,
It's
yeah,
sort of
yeah,
like
no, I get that.
it's sort of like that Nas stuff. Like, oh, Nas picks bad beats. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
like the thing is, like lo-fi beats be hitting though.
Hmm.
But anyway, but I'm not trying to say that his beats are like you know um a throwaway. It's not a throwaway. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Although I listen to a lot of lo-fi, just like I got tasks, I'm focusing on the project or something like that, and
Mm,
I'll play some lo-fi.
mm,
Um, but like that's the kind of beast that's in the back. It's just so mellow and so vibey. Yo, Boldy James, and but like the lyrics though be like, did you just hear what he fucking just said?
mm.
You know what I'm saying? And he puts out a lot of work. He puts out a lot of work.
How
Uh,
would you how would you compare him lyrically to like some of the mainstream artists that you probably listen to more often?
I mean, you can't use the word mainstream around me like that.
What? Why not? Why not?
Oh, these because
How
I
do we
don't fucks
separate
with
them?
mainstream like that.
That's
I
true.
don't
That's
fucks with
true.
mainstream like that because these
That's true.
mainstream they all end up sounding like the exact same fucking thing, and they end up
Hmm.
sounding like fucking cookie cutter as fuck, right? So how do I compare him to them?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
thing is, when most people say mainstream, they're talking they kind of like equate that with talent and saying like if they're mainstream, they mean they're talented, and it's not.
Hmm.
There's a lot more a lot of other factors like
I agree, actually.
a freaking promotion, you know what I mean, the record
Mm.
label, you know, who co-signs them, you know
Hmm.
what I mean, whatever, you know what I mean, if they're male or they female, you know what I'm
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about?
yeah.
So that's why I can't like really compare him like that. So he's not, I wouldn't say Boldy James is mainstream, you know,
Uh-huh.
but like if you're from Detroit and you're hip on the Detroit scene, like maybe if you're a Big Sean fan, for example, you know, you might have come across some Boldy James joints, uh, but but um but his shit is fire, you know, and if you partake in that green on a particular day, it's probably the type of
Here you
music
go.
that you want to just like throw on and
Uh-huh.
just fucking just like vibe out to, right?
Hmm.
I don't want to I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that Boldy is we're gonna wish him well because he recently had a very bad car accident, and
Oh,
he is
wow. It's terrible.
currently. Last time I checked up, he's in ICU.
Oh
Um,
man, that's terrible.
and the album
Prayers up to
dropped.
his family.
He's in ICU right now. He don't even know what the numbers is doing
Yeah.
right now.
Uh,
And you know this dude is prolific, and every time he puts something out,
mhm,
it's um it's it's quality stuff because but he puts out a lot of work. So like
mhm,
these albums is just dropping and dropping and dropping. You know, so you know he doesn't have time for promotion and all that kind of stuff. So you just got if
mhm,
you know, you know, you know,
mhm.
you come across this stuff. So this one is called Indiana Jones. I hope he's doing well because I'm looking forward to the
Yeah,
next joint
definitely.
that he drops. You know what I mean? And he's gonna have these experiences that he's going through right now, life or death almost. You know, to like
Yeah, yeah.
build off of, you
Prayers up
know,
for a
to
speedy
even
recovery
add
for
to his
sure.
artistry. And this
Yeah,
is what I'm talking about when we're talking about artistry.
yeah.
The other joint I was banging out too, um, yo, it's not even like it's not even it's not a new album, but I mean, so you know, on these sessions, on when we talk about the vibes, you know, we could
Mhm.
bring up some old stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe some potential albums in the future that we're looking forward to, something not yet released, whatever. But bro, y'all gotta stop sleeping on my man's Boogie with the hoodie.
Are people sleeping on him for real?
Stop it out there. Yes, I think so. You know what? My boy corrected me. It was like,
Mm.
I think he's kind of almost mainstream by now. I'm
I,
like,
I
really? I
I
don't.
thought he was. I thought he was. He is typically in league with when you mention mainstream, especially like modern day mainstream rappers. He's one of the guys that I've heard, and I
Yeah,
don't
you
even
talking about your Kodak Black?
and it tells you the story because it's like, and you know I don't listen to any of this stuff anyways, but even I've heard of him. So there has to be
Yeah.
some mainstream
But
backing
I just
to
feel
be
like when the
said.
conversations are happening, when I listen to something like Drink Champs,
Mm-hmm.
or if I'm listening to Breakfast Club, or you know, people have a conversation, they're dropping names of up and coming artists, or they're doing like,
Yeah, yeah.
oh hey, here's who's up and coming, who's popping, or here who's dropped the album. Like his name never comes up.
Hmm.
His name doesn't come up. You know what I mean? They talk about, you know what I mean, was it like NBA Young Boy, or they'll talk about the baby all day long, and some of these
Absolutely.
newer cats, you know what I mean,
Yeah,
even
yeah.
Juice World, or some of these
Mm-hmm.
guys, you know, Black or Kodak Black, and these cats, and like,
Mm-hmm.
yo, I never hear them mention Boogie with the hoodie. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Okay, you might have a point
And
there. Yeah.
yo, but this nigga, this nigga be going off.
Mm.
This nigga be going off. Yo, if he's featured on your shit, be careful.
Yeah. He's trying to make a point.
Like I could
Yeah.
see some people like be like,
Yeah.
nah, I don't want like this is the way Wayne was.
Yeah. Boy,
Like
Wayne was the
early on, it was
boogeyman.
like you do not want this dude featured on your shit because you got to come correct.
There are like
You
skits
gotta
on
come
this.
correct.
Like our DC world, like that guy made a whole skit on like when you have Wayne on your feature.
Yeah, like
he acted out
Wayne.
that whole thing. He was like, "Oh, Wayne is featured on this." Oh, he got a whole skit. It's hilarious. Like, yeah, you're right. Wayne was like a boogeyman for real when he was.
Yo, Boogie gets busy, and I was playing his. Oh, so this is what in terms of the vibes. Like, yo, I was on my joint, and I did a playlist, just Boogie hits. Right, you could just play. We could play.
Okay.
So this is like YouTube Music, and it'll play all his like top shit, and the list is like 200 deep because he's got bangers like that.
Wow.
And I pressed play on that joint, yo, and I was just like, biffed it, dog. I was gone. This nigga shit be fucking smacking, dog, and it's a whole vibe.
Okay,
whole vibe.
right.
So that's the vibe. So if you want to like freaking like melt away and freaking on some vibey shit, put on that, and it's a whole move. Matter of fact, this is what I would do. I would put Indiana Jones, Boldy James album, and Me Versus Myself. I think that was the last a Boogie album. Put that on the playlist. Hit shuffle. Let go. Let go and let God. Say, bro. This that shit is a fucking vibe, son. So check them boys out. There'll be a link in the notes somewhere down here, right? Yeah. There'll be a link there that you could check out some of these albums and check out. You know what? I might put a music video in that joint or something like that for y'all. I was vibing this weekend and recording at the end of a long Sunday. So hopefully you take that and enjoy it. You know what I mean? It's a palate cleanser for all the bullshit we covered earlier. We did it. Mission accomplished. I've been Darwin Mesidou. Thanks for listening. You can find me at Darwin_Darko, usually on Twitter.
Yeah, you can, and I'm Jeff. You can find me at Jeff Not Jeffrey. That's my IG and my Twitter. So check me out. I'm around. We got a couple different things that you can do. Obviously, like, comment, subscribe, but we got a couple handles you can visit. Our YouTube. That's another challenge day. We got TikTok, which is another challenge day as well. We also got Twitter
challenge day, like at another challenge day.
Yeah, it's
spell it out for the people.
So at another challenge day, that's the YouTube, and our TikTok is at another challenge day as well. Obviously, just to help you guys out. I mean, I know some of you guys might. Anyways,
don't insult the audience. Honestly,
my standard or the way that I think of humanity, I don't know. I'm
very hopeful. Not after the shit that we read today.
I'm not sure how hopeful I am.
So you might need to okay, so the letter A, right?
I might have to dial it all the way back. All the way back. So yeah, man, come check us out, man. Come check us out. And also, if you have any inquiries or anything like that, you can even email us at challengeday@darwindalco.com. If you have, any inquiries or whatever, just, holler at us. We'll be around. We'll see y'all next week.
It's challenge day.